We don't fear the dark because it hides monsters. We fear the dark because it might show us the ones we already are. We tell ourselves we're good, that deep down we mean well, that if people lie, cheat, steal, betray, it's because of pressure, pain, or a system that failed them. We want to believe that we are innocent at our core. But then, why do we enjoy watching others fall? Why do we look at tragedy and feel relief that it wasn't us? Why do we destroy what we love and call it justice? There's a fracture inside us, a silent contradiction. We crave freedom, but we also crave control. We want to trust people, but we also install cameras, set rules, and lock our doors. We live in a world of laws, prisons, surveillance, threats, and yet we call it civilization. Why? Because somewhere, buried deep, is a fear too raw to say aloud. What if the real danger is us? Thomas Hobbes looked at humanity and didn't see a noble creature fallen from grace. He saw animals with masks, beasts wrapped in language, pretending to be good. To him, freedom wasn't sacred. It was suicidal. Without chains, we tear each other apart. But not everyone agreed. Jean-Jacques Rousseau looked at that same world and saw something else. He saw a child, gentle, wild, free. And he asked, what if man was good until society taught him not to be? And now we are stuck between the beast that needs a cage and the child that was never meant to be locked up at all. This is not just philosophy. This is a war inside our psychology. Every relationship, every law, every betrayal, every kiss that turns into control, every promise broken in the name of security is a symptom of this deeper wound. Are we violent because it's in our blood, or because we were raised in a system that taught us to be afraid? Are we beasts by nature, or flowers crushed by civilization? Hobbes and Rousseau never met, but they've been fighting in our heads every day. One whispers, chain yourself or die in chaos. The other pleads, you were free once, go back. And the question that burns through all of it is this: who are we when no one is watching? Hobbes believed the monster was already inside us, and the only way to survive was to put it in a cage. Thomas Hobbes didn't hate humanity. He feared it. He looked at the world, not the world of ideas, but of blood, war, betrayal, and collapse. And he saw a terrifying truth. We are the threat. Not storms, not demons, not fate. Us. To Hobbes, there was no golden age, no Eden, no innocent beginning. Strip away our laws, our institutions, our rituals, and what's left? A creature with hunger, a creature with fear, a creature that kills before it's killed. He called it the state of nature, a world without order, a world before rules. And it wasn't paradise, it was hell. The life of man was solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Not because nature cursed us, but because we curse each other. Hobbes believed that if we are left free, truly free, we will not cooperate. We will dominate. We will lie, steal, manipulate, betray, enslave. We will hoard what we can and destroy what we cannot control. And the only way to survive is to surrender that freedom before someone else takes it from us. So he imagined a solution, not a democracy, not a republic, but a Leviathan, a sovereign so powerful, so feared, that it would crush rebellion before it starts. A government born not from idealism, but from fear, a necessary monster to contain the real ones. Hobbes didn't believe in virtue. He believed in calculation. We obey laws not because we're moral, but because we're afraid of what happens if we don't. We shake hands not out of love, but because we both know what happens if we don't keep the peace. This wasn't cynicism. It was brutal realism. Look around. We still live in Hobbes's world. We install locks, carry weapons, build armies, spy on each other just in case. We don't expect trust, we enforce it. We smile through contracts, we make peace through power. We govern our desires by suppressing others first. Because if we let our guard down, even for a moment, we fear what the other will do. Hobbes didn't believe that people are evil. He believed they're dangerous, not out of malice, but out of instinct. Because in his eyes, morality is just a contract, a fragile agreement, useful, necessary, but never sacred. We don't love each other into peace. We fear each other into silence. And maybe he's right. Because when the lights go out, when the rules fall apart, when the mask slips, we see it, the beast, not in the forest, not in the shadows, but in the mirror. But Rousseau looked at the same world and saw a child, not a monster to cage, but a soul we abandoned. Where Hobbes saw beasts that needed chains, Jean-Jacques Rousseau saw something else entirely. He looked into the soul of man, not the man corrupted by ambition or broken by cities, but the natural man, untouched, unshaped, unspoiled. And he didn't see a monster. He saw a child, curious, gentle, alive. Man is born free, Rousseau wrote, and everywhere he is in chains. To him, our brutality wasn't natural. It was learned, not from instinct, but from institutions. We were not born to dominate. We were taught to. From the moment we enter this world, we're shaped by pressures we didn't choose. Authority, comparison, shame, expectation. We're told how to walk, how to speak, how to think. And slowly, something inside us, something wild and beautiful, gets pushed down. Rousseau believed that before governments, before cities, before wealth and status and prisons, we were something else. Not perfect, but whole. We lived simply. We shared. We wandered. We felt. We belonged to the earth, not to thrones or titles or clocks. But then, society arrived, and with it came inequality, pride, property, punishment, control. We began to compare ourselves. We learned shame. We discovered what it meant to be less. The child became a competitor, then a servant, then a stranger to his own heart. Rousseau didn't want to return to the forest. He didn't reject structure entirely. But he believed that society must serve the soul, not crush it. And most societies, he argued, crush it brilliantly. We take wild spirits and mold them into predictable workers, quiet citizens, obedient lovers. We reward conformity and punish difference, then wonder why we feel hollow. Rousseau's dream wasn't chaos. It was freedom with dignity. He envisioned a society where people governed themselves, where laws reflected the general will, not the whims of the elite, where education inspired, not indoctrinated, where emotion was not weakness, but wisdom. To Hobbes, freedom was a threat. To Rousseau, it was sacred. He believed that man becomes cruel when he forgets his nature. And that nature is not evil. It's wounded. We are not born with chains. We are taught to wear them. We learn to tighten them ourselves. And eventually, we forget they were ever placed upon us. Rousseau didn't see rebellion as danger. He saw it as healing, a way to reach back to the part of us untouched by fear, untouched by greed, untouched by pride. A way to return, not to the wilderness, but to the root. Because maybe we are not beasts pretending to be good. Maybe we are children pretending to be monsters just to survive this world. So, who's right? Was the beast always there? Or did we become it to survive the cage? Two voices. One says, "We were born violent." The other says, "We were made violent." Hobbes and Rousseau are not arguing about laws or governments. They are arguing about the wound at the center of the human soul. And everything, our systems, our relationships, our inner lives, flows from that wound. Is violence natural or learned? Hobbes believed violence is our default, that even a child left unchecked would grow into a tyrant, that we cooperate only when forced, by fear, by force, by survival. He saw order as unnatural, something imposed, an achievement, not a gift. Peace, in Hobbes's view, is not the absence of violence. It is the victory of control. But Rousseau believed violence is a scar, not a seed. He argued that we become brutal after we've been humiliated, confined, compared. He pointed to tribes untouched by empire, where property didn't exist and cooperation was natural. To him, it was civilization that taught us to dominate. Man is good, he believed, but made cruel by the world he's trapped in. So, which is it? Is the knife already in our hand? Or did someone else place it there? Is government a cage or protection? Hobbes saw government as the last defense against human chaos. Without it, life becomes war. He believed that freedom must be traded for safety. And if we resist, then the Leviathan crushes. Because in a world of wolves, mercy is suicide. But Rousseau called this a beautiful prison. He saw most governments not as protectors, but as parasites. Born from the rich, enforced by the strong, imposed on the many. To him, the real danger wasn't anarchy. It was authority without love, order without justice. Hobbes feared man. Rousseau feared the chains we were told would save us. What destroys innocence, nature or nurture? Hobbes would say, innocence is a myth. The infant's smile hides hunger. The quiet hides calculation. Strip away comfort, and even the most civilized person turns savage. But Rousseau would say, look at the infant again. It loves, it cries, it gives. Its innocence is real, until it's shamed, pressured, twisted. We become hardened because the world hardens us, because we're punished for being soft. Should we be ruled or return to ourselves? Hobbes believed freedom was dangerous because we don't know how to handle it. He saw self-rule as a fantasy unless chained by law. But Rousseau believed freedom is the only path to wholeness. He didn't want anarchy. He wanted authenticity, a system built on the real will of the people. Hobbes gives us obedience through fear. Rousseau offers freedom through trust. And the deeper question emerges, do we trust ourselves enough to be free? They both feared something. Hobbes feared what man becomes without chains. Rousseau feared what man becomes because of them. And we live between those fears. We accept authority because we've seen what people are capable of. But we resent it because we wonder what we might have been without it. This isn't just a philosophical divide. This is the root of our politics, our parenting, our justice, our loneliness. We don't know if we are the problem or the ones being punished for someone else's. And until we face that, we will keep repeating the same war in different forms. Maybe the question isn't who's right. Maybe the question is, which lie are we willing to live with? We live between Hobbes and Rousseau, between the beast we fear and the child we've forgotten. We tell ourselves we need order, that control keeps us safe, that surveillance is protection, that punishment is justice. But deep down, we feel it. Something is wrong. We build cities with walls and fences. We raise children with rules and threats. We go to work, wear masks, obey laws, and call it peace. But it's not peace. It's a truce, held together by fear. Hobbes warned us about the chaos of man. So we listened, and we built a world that runs on obedience. But in doing so, we may have killed something sacred. We killed spontaneity. We killed play. We killed the wild spark inside us that didn't want control, just connection. We started living against ourselves, doubting our instincts, distrusting our desires, policing our own minds before anyone else could. And now, we're civilized, efficient, controlled. But are we free? Or are we just well-trained? Rousseau tried to remind us that maybe the crime isn't that people are wild, but that we're punished the moment we stop pretending to be tame. The lie we live is simple, that we're dangerous without chains, that we cannot trust ourselves, that order matters more than the soul. But the cost of that lie is us. If we were born beasts, then maybe the chains are mercy. But if we were born free, then the chains are the crime. Imagine two figures. One, a beast in a cage, pacing in silence. Powerful, dangerous, but controlled. He doesn't look free, but he's safe, and the world feels safer with him locked away. The other, a child in a field, barefoot, laughing, untouched by fear. No leash, no mask, no weight on his shoulders. Now ask yourself, which one are we becoming? Hobbes wanted to protect us from ourselves. Rousseau wanted to return us to ourselves, but neither could fully win, because the truth is, we are both, the beast and the child, the cage and the key, and the real tragedy. We've built a world that punishes one and forgets the other. So we ask again, are we monsters pretending to be good, or miracles pretending to be monsters?